Today we're going over a game of one of my favorite chess players, who was arguably the best Brazilian chess player of all time, and his name was Henrique Mecking. He managed to be top 3 in his time, and this match was played against Miguel Najdorf. In case you're wondering, the Sicilian variant is named after the guy who is playing black in this game, and this game was played in 1971. So in this game, Mecking played e4, and you might guess it, Najdorf, who's famous by the Sicilian variant that is named after him, played the Sicilian defense. And of course, in this position here, Mecking played knight f3, and we're going to see a very aggressive and tactically sharp game from both sides here, and you're going to see the creativity from Mecking in this match. Okay, so after d6, Mecking played knight c3, and after knight f6, he played d4, takes. We have a transposition of a typical Sicilian here, and of course Najdorf played a6 here. This is a typical position in Sicilian defense, and if you guys play the Sicilian, you have probably reached this position many times if you play the open Sicilian. Bishop g5 was played here by Mecking, and after e6 he played f4, very aggressive move. He is planning to attack on the king side, pawn storming against Najdorf here in this position, and after bishop to e7, queen f3, putting all the pieces on the queen side here, preparing to queenside castle. After queen to c7, he castles queenside, and now you're going to see here a very aggressive and sharp attack, pawn storming on the king side here against Black's position. Black's not even going to castle here in this position because it's extremely dangerous to do that. If you know that your opponent is going to pawn storm here in this position, in these Sicilian positions, usually when they castle opposite sides, you see very aggressive and sharp games. After knight b to d7, developing the knight, Mecking played bishop e2, connecting the rooks, developing the bishop. And after rook to b8, he played g4, starting to pawn storm. Now going to attack with the pawns on the king side. After b5, Najdorf is doing the same, but on the queen side with this minority attack, attacking with the pawns on the other side of the board. Whoever attacks gets there first is going to be a total mess. But Mecking here is faster. So here in this position, he traded the bishop for the piece here. So take the knight, and after it takes back, he attacked the knight, who was forced to retreat to d7. And after bishop to d3 here, Najdorf played b4, attacking the knight, and Mecking played knight c to e2, just retreating the knight back from danger. After knight to c5, rook h to g1, now lining up the attack against Black's position. He played g6 to defend the pawn that was under some threat. So here f5 was played, and you see that we have a lot of pawns in touch here, and pawn breaks are going to happen very soon. So Najdorf played e5 after knight b3 to retreat the knight that was being attacked by the pawn. Knight took here on d3, and Mecking recaptured with the queen. So here, after bishop to d7, Mecking started to attack, playing f6. The pawns are marching against Black's king, and Black's not even castled here. You're going to see they're going to castle in a few moves, but it's very, very dangerous. I don't know if I would castle in this position. It's just crazy when you have all these pawns and pieces pointing at your king. So bishop to b5 here, attacking the queen, hitting the queen. So queen to d2, just to escape from danger. Bishop to d8, knight g3, and now Black castles. But it's just crazy to do this in this position here. So queen to g2, automatically putting the queen and all the pieces pointing at the king here, switching the game to the other side of the board. Rook to c8, and king to b1 here. So queen to d7 was played, and knight f6. In this position here, it seems like they are just giving up the knight in this position, but it's not so simple. they're threatening to take this pawn here, and since it's only defended by the queen, it's very tough. You can even take it with the rook here, and it's not going to be bad. It's going to be interesting. So if, let's say, black plays something like this, we're going to take this pawn with the knight or maybe with the rook. It depends. So here, black thinks they can take this pawn, this piece, for free, but it's actually not so simple, because after queen h to h3, we have all the pieces pointing at the king here. It's very difficult to escape from this attack. It's just too overwhelming. This pawn here is no longer defending the king, so it's opened, very, very open. So in this position, it's actually pretty equal, even though white is down a piece. So king moves to h8 to hide from the attack, and here e takes f5, and after bishop to e2 here, it looks like it's a very strong attack against the rook here, but actually there's not much they can do. So in this position, Mecking played rook to g3, ignoring this attack completely, because if they take, let's take a look at this variation. If they take the rook here, you can just play queen to h6 here, and you have mate in 4, if I'm not mistaken here. It's forced mate. So what can you do to protect against this mate? We're threatening mate here in this position. Let's say black plays rook here to g8 to protect. You can go ahead and sacrifice the queen here, and after black takes, you can check with the rook, and the only thing they can do here is just block to delay the checkmate that is inevitable. So in this position here, the best option is not actually taking the rook, but retreating. And that's what Najdorf has done here in this position. He did that. And after rook to f1, queen to b5 attacking the rook just goes up. The queen attacks the rook again, and then the rook slides to g2, now lining up on the g file. And this attack is very strong, guys. You see a lot of pawns here. You see the queen and the 2 rooks pointing at the king here on the king side. It's a very strong attack. Queen to b5. After g6, trying to open up the position, f takes and f takes. We have this position where the attack is just too overwhelming. Bishop takes f6 was played, and then queen took h5 here. Now we're getting the piece back, basically. After the queen checks, we just block with the knight. That's what Mecking did in this game. And after rook to c7 here to protect this 7th rank here, Mecking took the pawn on h7. And here is the losing move, where actually something else should have been played here by Najdorf. He took the pawn. He should have done something different maybe here, moving the bishop or bringing this this rook here, trying to do something to protect against this very strong g file with the 2 rooks pointing at the king here. But it's very hard to find a good move in this position with the attack so overwhelming here on the g and h file. So they took the pawn, and this is just forced mate in 3. And here Mecking did this wonderful move, sacrificing the queen. King takes rook, and after the king takes, you just check, and it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do to stop checkmate here. You can just delay it by playing bishop here to h4, but then after the rook takes, it's just checkmate. That's why I liked Henrique Mecking so much. Just an aggressive and attacking player, sacrificing pieces and attacking with the pawns. It's just amazing. So if you liked this video and liked the channel, please like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon. And I see you guys as always in the next video.